Hello, everyone. This is Rebecca Greene for the Whiny Palooza podcast, and I am already having such a fantastic time talking to Deborah Mallow. Deborah, thank you so much for doing this with me today.
Thank you so much for having me. And everyone out there, I want to do one thing because this is what I find makes you feel better. Smile and give yourself a big hug.
Oh, I love that.
Gets the
Okay.
endorphins going and say, I love myself because we have to do that. We have to find time with all the parenting adventures and everything to really care for ourselves. Anyhow, I will
Oh,
stop now.
such a good start. I have been chatting it up with Deborah, and I said to her, "Oh my God, I got to stop interviewing you and press record. I love this lady. This is going to be a fantastic discussion. You're going to love her as much as I do. But let me tell you about her. Not surprisingly, she's known as your ray of sunshine. She is a creative thinker and mindset coach dedicated to helping people live happier, healthier lives. She developed the steps to fewer days that suck. I love the title. A solutions based approach to breaking negative habits and creating lasting positive change. As the founder of the Daily Decisions Positive Energy Club, Deborah empowers others with practical strategies to shift their mindset, reduce stress, and boost joy. She has been featured on Fox 5 New York, WGN Radio, Women's World, AARP, and more. I started talking to her and the time just flew by and she is amazing. I mean, I already feel so much joy. So I want to show you, we're going to talk about this, but if you're watching, you can watch us on Facebook and YouTube. The 6 steps to fewer days that suck. I'm holding the guide. Tell them when it's officially coming out.
It will be out definitely by the first week of April on Amazon and then hopefully in bookstores as well. I'm working on that now, but the paperback and hardcover will be on Amazon. And it's actually worth, I think, getting the paperback or hardcover. Ebook is fine, but
You can't
do
write.
what you can't do. You can't see it in the format that I actually wrote it because it's not a chapter book. It's double pages of all the trials and tribulations and the positive things we go through and tips and action items, little stories, everything on a double page that energizes you and gives you solutions and little sound bites and visualizations and tips to think about. And the summary at the end of each step with a line page for ahas. It really is. I'm not trying to sell that at all.
Well,
I'm just
sell
trying to say
away.
this is how I wrote it because it was, as Rebecca knows, I didn't plan to put it out into the world. This was my way to make changes in my life because I was the quintessential overachiever, driving
Mm.
myself to exhaustion, being hard on myself because it wasn't all the great things that I did each day. I was a number one sales rep year after year. It wasn't that. It was all the negative things or the things that I felt didn't measure up to my potential, which was not even close because I did the best. And that's what we all have to give ourselves permission to say. We do our best and we shouldn't be so hard on ourselves. And we need to live present in the moment, stop worrying, stop those negative thoughts, and just enjoy life more because we can. We do things to ourselves. So
Hmm.
we'll talk more as I talk to Rebecca. I don't want to talk too long on this, but that's really what it is. We have to give ourselves permission to care for ourselves and be present in the moment.
So I had the pleasure of getting to read this before it comes out. I feel very privileged and I could not stop smiling reading it. It just feels, we talked about how Deborah wants it to feel like a hug. Like I feel like I was hugged through the whole thing. And I, so it sounds like to me that it helped you. It was your guidebook. So you want us to have this.
That's, I just want to help people get unstuck because there's a lot. I know I raised a son and I know the pressure that we put ourselves under, try with our jobs, because
Yeah.
everybody, not everybody, but so many of us work. It's either we choose to work or we have to work, whatever it is. And then we put pressure on ourselves to be the perfect mom. Well, there's no such thing as perfect. I mean, how can you be perfect? And then the children and the activities and all the other things and toxic friends and everything that we go
Yeah.
through. And I just needed to get myself in a better place because myself, I was an overachiever, and we have to find balance in our lives. Every day can't be perfectly balanced and harmonious,
No.
but we can strive to make it better so that we, as I say, enjoy more and worry less. And we're present in the moment. And I keep saying that because we miss so much when we're not present in the moment and enjoying whatever it is, the activity we're watching our children do, whatever it might be, when you're with your friends, even.
I mean, I feel like you're answering my first question. So, I mean, you can piggyback on what you said or you can give a different answer. But I'm curious what you think is one small if I can talk, mindset shift that we can all do to give ourselves more happiness through the day.
And I said that giving ourselves permission, and this is trite, but to say, I am enough. I do my best, and I'm not going to be so hard on myself. And it's all those negative thoughts because I like, and I put it in there as you know, but it's very basic. We anybody can research more. I didn't want charts and graphs. I just wanted it simple and basic so that you got your aha moment and then you realize what was happening. So our brains seek patterns. So we have the choice to make those patterns negative or
Mm,
positive. And what I did for myself, and I share this in the book, is I worked on getting rid of what they call the caveman brain. Negativity bias is very simply that our brains, dating back to early humans,
yep.
tend to prioritize negative information over positive. Negative events, we feel the sting of negative events more than we enjoy all the positive events. So we need to reframe our thoughts, change our perspective, and it's doable. That's the great thing. We can
Yeah.
do this. And then the fact that our brains seek patterns is it's going to go along with us and help us. And once we practice this, it feels so much better that it's an easier way to keep going because I don't worry anymore. I mean, because I read a study, 91% of the things we worry about never happen. So why
I love that. I'm writing that down.
it's sort of crazy. You could see different studies that have like different statistics, but it's all really high. And this 91%, because it's true. Think about it. We worry about things and they never happen. Something else happens. So it's just a matter of perspective and saying, why am I going to do this to myself? I rather live in the present and enjoy it. And actually, I repeat these things because even you said on one of your podcasts how many times you were talking to your husband, how many times we need to, it's good to repeat things because you don't hear it till it's repeated a number of times. And that was the same in sales. We were always told, keep repeating. So it's good to hear it and then hear it a different way. But honestly, knowing that, smiling, and laughing get the endorphins percolating and we feel better. Walking, even actually taking a walk to distract you, have negative thoughts or you're feeling not good about something, take a brisk walk even
Love that
because
advice.
yeah, walking is known to boost the endorphins. Think about it, the exercise, and it can decrease sensitivity to stress and pain. So there's so many little things that we can
Yeah.
do to
Yeah.
stop the negative thoughts, to make us, to have us feeling better about ourselves. And these are the little things that we can do to stop ourselves from going down the rabbit hole and to enjoy our lives more and find ways to make ourselves feel better because I believe it's all about self care. And I don't yes, self-care is you get a manicure, a pedicure, sure, take a bubble bath, whatever. But to me, it's building confidence, ha that positive energy, and building our resilience, knowing that we can get through things. And being adults, we have the perspective more than so than our children, which we need to help them build confidence and resilience so they can feel good about themselves. Because just notice that people who are more confident, resilient, are kinder humans. And that to me is really important to have respect for yourself, as I
Yeah.
call it, personally considerate, and also be respectful of other people. And when we feel better, the emotions of the anger and the fear and all those things that bring us down cause that us to feel maybe inferior, less than. That's what we're trying to change.
Well, and you're speaking my language. We've talked about this. I eat this. I breathe this. I love everything that you're saying. And I also know, you and I both know that I talk to so many women and I feel like they don't get out of their negative habits. They don't have confidence. So can we give them some advice to move along?
And absolutely. But the one thing I want to say is, and that's why the book is broken down, the first thing is a decision. We all have to make the decision, a commitment
Yes.
to actually focus on the positive, create more positive moments in our lives and ways we think so that we can actually get there and overcome the negative. The problem is always we give lip service to it. We say we want to do it, but unless we take the reins and actually do it for ourselves, it's not going to happen. We need to be
True.
in control of our change, of our lives. We need to be able to shape our lives, right?
Yeah.
And shape our perspective and reframe our thoughts. And that's really, there's no magic bullet, but we are able to do it because we can change our thinking. We can't control other people. So that's the first thing we have to stop trying to
Yeah.
do because the
Yes.
frustration doesn't make us
Yes.
feel good. We own our priorities, our agenda, and we can't take things personally if other people have their issues because everybody has their own baggage, right? So it is a choice and you can do it. And the more you get up in the morning and smile, say a positive affirmation like, today has so much to offer. I'm going to bring the positive energy. Just say positive things. And once you start going down, or you think you're going to go down a rabbit hole during the day, say positive thoughts to yourself. Don't allow yourself a minute to slack off and get into a negative routine. Do it for a couple of weeks. You'll feel better and then
Yeah.
you'll want to continue. I really believe that you can because I did it and I was, believe me, a mess. If you
You've
saw me,
come a long way. If you were a mess, you've come a long way.
honestly, I did. I did. And everybody could do it. The people I coach, they've all overcome because a lot of times what we need is an accountability partner, right? We need a
Mm,
mentor, somebody who believes in us and can actually cheerlead for us, whether it's a friend, whether it's a coach, whatever it might be that works for you. Because sometimes it's harder to do it alone. And sometimes we don't have out the perspective. It's easier to see what is wrong or what other people, not wrong, but what other people's mistakes are than it is to see what is actually true with ourselves. So sometimes it's good, a good friend, and you do it for each other and you support each other. And don't think it's selfish or rude to get rid of the toxic people in your life, the negative people. They're not doing you a service, they're doing you a disservice.
I think that is excellent advice. I don't think that's easy.
No, no.
Right.
It's not easy, but you make a conscious effort to work on it. And I find, right, that's why I did line pages at the end of each step, Rebecca, because I did
Yes.
it for me, because I think we have to promise ourselves. We have to, you could post a note on the fridge. You don't have to use a line page. You don't have to buy the book even, it's up to you if you want to. But of course, if you even just make a few bullet points of things that would help you to change and put it on the fridge and just each day check off that you did it. Because when we see our accomplishments, it gives
Yes.
us personal pride. And
It's true.
honestly, who are we doing this for? We're doing this for us. Don't we? Don't we really deserve it? I think so.
Yeah. I think we're really good at giving to others. I think we all need to get better at giving to ourselves.
Yes. And you can repeat my words. Today I will be personally considerate because think about the
Love it.
times, and I know I'm stupid. Oh, I screwed that up. And rather than saying, I love learning something new, which you read in my book, it's all
Yes.
how you flip it. So I
Yes.
challenge all of you when you're going to say something negative to yourself, stop and say
Yes.
something positive. I I love learning something new, or whatever it is that flips the script for you. And the more you do this, the more you get into the habit. What is it that Malcolm Gladwell says it takes 10,000 hours to master something? Well, you can master this. I mastered it much faster. You really can because you get that good feeling from it. And just like we like an adrenaline rush, an endorphin rush. We like to feel good. So
Yes.
train your brain, your mind to think positive thoughts. And I know it's not easy, but the good thing is it is doable if you decide to do it. So do it for you. This is for you to enjoy your life more.
You know, I agree. I think that we hit stressful moments,
Yes.
and I think that people need help bouncing fast back quicker.
Yes.
So, how can they move quicker to bounce back?
Well, this is what it is. It's all in our reaction, right? I mean,
Yes.
I almost lost, I say it in the book in a short little paragraph. I almost lost a good job, a really good job, because I told you I was a mess before because I was trying to overachieve. I was putting too much pressure on myself. We need
Mm,
to limit the pressure we put on ourselves because we are, and I keep saying it because it's trite, but it's true. We're enough. We're good. We're good as we are. And now we're going to strive to be even better, that we enjoy our lives. But honestly, I almost lost a job because I didn't like the way that the person I was dealing with wasn't addressing the situation, wasn't moving ahead and getting it done. And I lost my cool. And
yeah.
I was on a taped line. So they had it all.
Oh
And
no.
I know, but you know what? That was part of the shift too. Sometimes you have to hit rock bottom in
Oh,
order to rise and make a change. And I was
yeah.
so humiliated. I mean, I'm not going to go into all the stuff that happened. I kept my job. I was very lucky for a lot of reasons. And I'm not going to go into everything, but it was a very humiliating experience because it's better to take a pause when you start to feel the heat rising. And it's hard to do, but I've mastered it. You need to take a pause and just say to yourself, I'm going to calm down. I'm going to breathe. I'm going to stop the chain reaction, or what I call the domino effect, where it keeps escalating. Because once you start, that anger, that fear, that
Yeah.
rage, it just grows, right? So
Yes.
it's just a matter, and that's the stress too. We cause ourselves all this stress. It becomes like a habit that develops, or a pattern. It's not a habit. It's a pattern that develops over time.
Yeah.
And we need to give ourselves permission to stop it, to take a step back and not go there. Because honestly, what happens afterwards? We're feeling sorry. We're feeling guilty, especially with a husband or our children or whatever it might be. So it's just a matter of stopping it before it starts. So you don't have that whole chain reaction and you don't feel horrible. And it just, that stress meltdown doesn't make us feel good. So
Mm.
it's just a matter of practicing the patience, the stopping. And that's what I did. And it really, really works. I mean, if somebody pushes my buttons, and people do, and people can be very frustrating, I stop and I smile to myself inside and I say, I'm not going to let it affect me. I mean, I don't say it out loud to them, but I really say, I'm not going to. And the more we practice this, the more it becomes a habit. And it's something that just becomes part of us. Believe me, we can do it if we want to. It isn't easy, but it's definitely doable. Like anything else, we do
Well,
this to ourselves.
and what I'm hearing is that it might not be easy at first, but we make the decision and the commitment. And as we practice, that's when it becomes easy.
Mhm.
I think eventually it does become a habit, a pattern,
Yeah.
right? Because I think you and I are doing this every day.
Yes.
So it's a matter of starting.
It's a matter of starting. And the whole thing is, I keep saying we're doing this for us.
Yes.
We're
Yeah.
our most important resource. We need to treat ourselves, as I say, we need to be considerate to ourselves. We don't need to add extra pressure. We don't let, we don't need to feed into people pushing our buttons because it's not going to serve us. And again, like I said, there's no magic bullet. But knowing that you're doing this for you so you have a better, more enjoyable life and can be present in the moment, enjoy your families, not let the little things really take over. I say to myself many times, what really matters?
Such a good question.
Because honestly, what matters? Your loved ones and their health, your well-being, and that you're having the best possible life that you can. You can't compare yourself to others. Everybody's journey, everybody's desires are different. We need to just embrace who we are because we are who we think we are, right? If you think that you're not enough and you think that you don't measure up, well, that's who you are, right?
Oh,
Because we train our minds to think that way. If you think that
yes.
you're going to have a good life, you're going to have a good day. I mean, every day can't be perfect. I mean, things happen, people die, there's accidents, there's a lot of things that we can do, but it's all about, I go back to what we first started with. It's our reaction, how we react, and we choose how we react.
Well, and I'm selfishly thinking about my wonderful daughter because so I have practiced this daily. Okay. So we work on ourselves and we want to teach this to our children.
Yes.
So then I see the pressure and the intensity that she's putting on herself. And I just had this conversation with her about what really matters. So now I need your help. Now we need to teach this to our kids. So help
Yes.
us. How do we teach this to our kids?
Well, it's all about little steps, right?
Yes,
And not
yes.
putting as much pressure on them as, again, and I was guilty of that. Believe me, before this, I put pressure on my son to do well in school, to, get tutors, all that stuff. But all that does is cause more anxiety for them. So it's better to build their self-esteem, not fake. Everybody getting a trophy. Look, I don't want to say any, it's everybody does what works for them, right?
Yeah, yeah.
We have to be realistic because some people have more different, we all have different strengths, right? We're all good.
Yes.
Wait, I think I heard you, were you saying that you're not the math brain, your husband is, right? Was that,
Oh, back in the day, I was the math brain, but if
oh,
you
you
don't
were?
use it, if you don't use it, you lose it.
Because was one of your sons coming to you for homework and you say, go,
I do not help them with math homework. I send them right to
a
Max.
husband. That's what I heard you say. So, anyhow, we all have strengths, right? And we need to notice our children's strengths
Yes.
and explain to them, we're all different, and just go with your strengths. Lean on your strengths. Your strengths will help you. Yes, we can fix things and we can make better, but our strengths really are what lift us up. So why wouldn't we want to build on that? And also just being kind to themselves, like I said, being personally considerate to yourselves, being kind
Mm,
to yourself, practicing self-care for yourself, to trust yourself. We want our children to trust themselves, their intuition, not to get mixed up with the toxic kids maybe that could bring them down a rabbit hole. We all know where that could go. So they need to believe in who they are. And by not yelling at them, by lifting them up and doing it patiently and kindly. And sometimes I know we're tired and words come out of our mouths. But the more we practice thinking before we react, see, I say again, we need to think before we react, and how we're going to speak to someone. We need to be personally considerate of ourselves, and we need to be respectful of our children, of other people, no matter how frustrating it is. It's not going to benefit us if we lose control. So it's very important to build our children up, give them confidence, not false confidence, but realistic confidence, and then resilience to point out, so this happened, but look, you got up. You were able to move forward, and that is helping them have perspective as they get older and be a kinder human. Because I think when people feel more confident in themselves, they know that it's going to work out, what really matters, and giving them perspective, they
mm.
become kinder humans as adults. And we need more kindness in the world.
Oh, don't we? Yes, I would like to raise kind humans. That is one of my goals.
All of our goals, and it's just a matter of how we speak to them and
Yes.
how then they model, because they model after us.
Yes, yes, I know. Trust me, I took a hard look in the mirror when I realized how hard all three of my children are on themselves. I'm like, oh, Rebecca, where did they get this from?
But on the flip side, they're responsible. There's good and bad in everything, right? I mean, and I don't want to say bad.
Oh,
There's
yes,
there's there's benefit. I don't
yes,
want to say bad because that's not good. I like to be positive. There are benefits to everything.
yes,
If to be productive and responsible is a good thing. It just has to be tempered with realistic expectations and balance, because we
yes.
all need more balance, right?
Oh,
We're all a little off balance.
oh my gosh. Yes. I'm always working on that every day.
With
I
3 kids.
also I also hear from a lot of people that they struggle with procrastination.
Oh, yeah.
That is a big one if you have any advice for them.
Yes, and I write about it because it's really interesting how, if we know, think about it, if you know what you really need to do, you have clarity on what needs to get done, it becomes so much easier to do it. So, and I'm sure you've heard this along the way, breaking big goals or big projects
Yes.
you have into smaller tasks, but
Yep.
we need to write it down. And then when we finish it, the small tasks, you have a list. Don't overwhelm yourself every day, just small things. When you
Love it.
finish it, give it a check mark. Or you
Love it.
type it out and you do it with the emoji thing and you give it a check, whatever we when we actually commend ourselves for doing something or celebrate ourselves for getting something
Mm,
done, we feel good. And what I do is to make sure I get it done. Because once you actually sit down and start, you go 1, 2, 3, action, and you start it, it becomes easier to keep going. It's actually
yes.
sitting down and doing it. And then I will not let myself stop until whatever, and I'm not doing hours and hours and hours, because I take a break every half an hour, 45 minutes, sometimes an hour. I'll make sure if it takes a little longer, I get up and I stretch because also sitting affects our backs. It's
Mm,
not, it's good to move around, do something else because so many times when we're doing something else and we're stuck on whatever project we're doing, we need like a new idea. When we're not actually focused on it and we're maybe washing the dishes or whatever it might be, the solution comes to us.
it's true. Yes.
So, so the benefits of doing all that, but it's just putting your butt into the seat and just starting and not turning on the TV because that becomes it's like an addiction, right? We want to relax. I mean, I believe in taking time to
Yes.
relax because that's all part of self-care. But with procrastination comes stress because
Yeah.
we know we need to get something done and it's not done and we get near a deadline and it gets done. Have you heard of Parkinson's law?
Mm-mm.
So we're given amount of time for a project, right? We could get it done in a shorter amount of time, but that project takes just to the deadline because we stretch it out instead of consolidating
Uh,
it. And that's Parkinson's law. It stretches out to the deadline. And that's when we lose it. We become stressed out and
yes.
anxious. And the trick is to get it done. Have a list, write it down, check it off, celebrate the fact that you did it. Maybe you go out to get a manicure, maybe you go out to get a massage, maybe you just go out, you don't want to spend money. I get that. Go out and take a walk and then come back because your mind when it's not maybe focused on it, you'll have some more great ideas. Sit yourself back down and finish it because you'll stop the extra stress.
Well, and you want to know what else causes extra stress? They then go to excuses and tell me why they're not going to do it.
Absolutely. We're really
So,
good at excuses. The procrastinator extraordinaire, as I said, the coming
oh
up with
my gosh.
excuses.
I
We're
mean,
so good at it.
how do you get rid of excuses? Tell them. Get rid of it, people.
How do you get rid of it? It's you're training your mind
Yes.
to actually be personally considerate and get something done. I don't want to say before the deadline, but to stop the extra stress, to be
Yes.
kinder to yourself, because that's what it's all about. It might feel good at the moment sitting down and having a cup of tea, and I believe in having a cup of tea and taking a break, but watching a program, which gets into another program, which I'm not, believe me, I've been there. I understand. I was the biggest supporter of Parkinson's law. That's how I read about it because I said, oh my God, this is a real thing.
Yes.
Human nature, we're all the same. We
We
do it
are.
differently, but we all have the same inclinations. Complacency, it just depends on your priorities, right? But I think we need to get clear on our priorities and honor ourselves, value ourselves, and honor our dignity, because that's what I really believe, that we can make our lives so much simpler if we look at the things that are getting in our way and complicating it for us. And again, I know it's not easy, but making a list and little things at a time to
Yeah.
make sure that the day is less stressful than it has to be. Sometimes in the morning when I'm smiling and I'm giving myself a hug, I write down the three things, sometimes it's six, but that I need to get done, but I tackle the biggest thing first when I have the most energy and I get that done. And then I keep moving down the list because sometimes it's easier to tackle the the toughest task rather than going to your email and just like doing something simple, because that also is
Good advice.
procrastination. You're getting
Yeah.
stuff done, but you have to get done what's most important first.
Yeah. No, that's really good advice because I do think that we might skip to something that's easier instead of getting the hard thing done first. I like that advice. And I also think that one of the big issues is that people are afraid of change.
Yeah.
And I think that we don't know how to handle change. We fear it, we avoid it. Um, how can people do better with change?
It's difficult, right? It's like we get in a comfort zone, right?
Yes,
And
we do.
I say that comfort zone really isn't comfortable because it's destroying
Oh,
us, right? I say the comfort zone isn't comfortable, really. I don't know why it's
like
called the
that.
comfort zone.
I like that a lot. I like that.
I once said that on Instagram. I said, comfort zone isn't so comfortable. And somebody said, can I use that? I said, sure, use it because I think it's true.
Perfect.
Yeah,
Perfect.
I think it's true. So getting into that comfort zone and doing the same thing over and over, it's like, insanity, right? It's like, why are we doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different reaction, but it's the same reaction each time. So we need to be able to see things for what they are, perspective again, and be honest with ourselves. Is that easy? No, but be honest with ourselves and start making little changes. It's interesting. Small changes have a big impact over time.
Yes.
Once
Yes.
you're kinder to yourself, once you stop the circular thinking and the worry, once you have that under control, once you think before you react, it's little things. All these little things will make such a big difference in your happiness quotient, your happiness factor. Will you be happy every second of the day? Come on, let's be realistic. It's not possible, but we can be happier and more content. Give ourselves peace of mind.
Mm. Yeah, I love that. I'm going to remember that line forever. The comfortable zone is not so comfortable. That is perfection right there. That will help
Yes.
everyone.
And the other soundbite, the other thing I did, because I do not use the word failure. I don't like that
Mm,
word. It has a negative connotation and people
yes.
less than. So the thing is, how do we get better at anything? We need to make mistakes. We make
Yes.
mistakes. And so what I call failure, instead of failure, I renamed it education and growth. And this is how we learn. This is how we get better because nobody does something, or very rarely, the first time out of the gate, do they do things so well? It takes time. So you need to give yourself permission to take the time and along the way, learn and grow, and you find a happier place. We really need to find a happier place for ourselves. They talk the happy place. I want to call it a happier place.
Yeah. I we can grow every day and get better every day. And that actually sounds very exciting to me.
It is challenging ourselves to
Yeah.
grow. And then again, that reward thing, give yourself a reward. I say in the book, actually, and you can invite other people, but I say, make a party just for you.
Mm,
Celebrate you. Find that time to celebrate yourself. Don't, like I used to do, all the great things I did in a day, but I would focus on the negative. Stop doing that. Flip the script. All it
yes.
is flipping the script, saying something positive instead of those negative words. Again, I learned something new. I'm not stupid. I don't even say those words. Don't even say negative words. Don't apologize for yourself. Stop. I was just talking to somebody the other day and they were apologizing. I said, stop apologizing for yourself. Just appreciate yourself. We're not perfect. And just accept who you are and the things you want to change, work on that. Because again, as I said earlier, we're doing this for ourselves. We deserve the gift. We are a gift. We are
Oh,
who we think
so
we are. So think positively about yourself. Give yourself some praise.
oh my gosh, such beautiful. This is like the perfect. I need to start my day with you every day.
Oh, yes, of course. We're both in New York. Why not?
We're both in New York. Well, and before I let you go, there is one other thing that you reframed for me that I think is really important for us to share. You
Okay.
say to be curious instead of jealous. And I want you to explain this to them because I think that's a really good lesson.
So we all see other people maybe achieving things,
Yeah.
doing things. But my realization is everybody has their own struggles. All that glitters isn't gold. That's what
I like that.
it's Shakespeare's statement, right? Really what lurks beneath the surface, because you don't see everybody's problems and struggles. Sometimes people are able to show a good face, is to understand everybody has their journey. Your journey, you need to focus on what you want, your purpose, your passion, your family, yourself, and liking yourself, loving yourself, and not focus on what you think, which is in reality what other people have, and be jealous. Instead, be curious about what you can do in your life. Try different things. No, you're not failing. If it doesn't work out, it's funny how some things don't work out, we turn the corner and something better is there. And you start, that's building resilience too, to see and have perspective to see that sometimes what we crave, we think we crave something, and actually it isn't that, it's something else. So be curious about what it is that's around the corner for you, rather than getting frustrated that you didn't achieve whatever it is. You didn't get a job, you didn't get, your child didn't do something that you thought that they should do. Be curious about what good is around the corner. Again, it's all about how you want to reframe things. Put the positive spin on things, because curiosity and anticipation for what's ahead, the excitement of that, if that too gets the endorphins going, that excitement, we feel good about that. And we need to find more ways to make ourselves feel good, to give ourselves a hug every day, to find positive words to say, to smile, to be personally considerate.
Oh my goodness. How appropriate that we started with a hug and we ended with a hug. How appropriate is that?
It's so important to value
Oh,
ourselves. It really is, and honor our dignity, and to respect ourselves, not to say bad things to ourselves, and to be kind to other people, even if they're pushing your buttons. It's easier. You get more, what is it? What is the old saying? You get more bees with honey than vinegar. It's just a
yes.
matter of, sometimes you can win people over if you just do it the right way. Always? No, because people have to be in the right mindset, and we can't control other people's emotions. But we need to first start with ourselves, and to be kind to ourselves and hug ourselves and see the value. And when our children see us doing that, that's what they model. I'm going to start to cry, because honestly, really, what we do reflects on our children. Well, our children actually see it, and that's what they model. And we need to be really aware of what we're doing. And once you become aware of what you're doing, it's easier to change. Stop yourself. Take a moment to reflect. Don't react right away. Start with that, and you're going to be so much happier. You'll be proud of yourself. Make yourself proud, because you are a wonderful person. Just know that. Know you're a gift and you have a lot to offer the world. But you can't give it to the world if you're caught in all the negative, all the negativity. And we'll talk about this maybe another time, how negativity actually links to various health issues. But that could be another
Mm.
topic altogether.
Oh, that makes
Our
so much
negativity can
sense.
get us sick. But again, another time.
Well, I'm going to bring you back because,
Yay!
oh my gosh, you are such a wonderful lady. You are such a pleasure to talk to.
You.
I can't even tell you what a good state I'm in to go tackle the rest of my day, but
Yay.
tell everybody before I let you go where they can find you.
please, I would love if you email me, go to my website. It's the Daily Decisions with an S.com. Or you could put in my name, Deborah Mallow, and it'll come up. Mallow like marshmallow. And if you go to the dailydecisions.com/inspire, you can join my positive energy club. I'm about to do that on Facebook as well as my positive energy club. But you can download, I have 3 worksheets. One, but you have to subscribe. And
Okay.
the worksheets, happiness, motivation, and feel good activities. Oh, I have a feel good activity another time for you too. Quite a few that you could do in a community or you could do by yourself to make you feel better. But anyhow, so if you come to my website, thedailydecisions.com/inspire, you can join my positive energy club, get the worksheets. The worksheets are companions to the 6 Steps to Fewer Days That Suck, the book, but they actually work as standalone too, because everybody needs motivation to feel happier and to have some feel good activities to actually incorporate into your day.
Yes, and I'm going to hold it up again. In April, go buy her book, 6 Steps to Fewer Days That Suck. What a perfect title. Thank you
It's a
so.
turquoise. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
No, go ahead.
It's a turquoise cover, and
Yep.
the writing is in yellow.
I
And
see it behind you. It's right behind
it
you.
is
It's
behind
beautiful.
me. Yeah, I can
It's
actually.
behind you. It's beautiful. What a beautiful book.
Anyhow, I'm
Well,
sorry I interrupted. I'm so sorry.
no, you can interrupt me anytime. Deborah, thank you so much for your time and expertise today.
Thank you, Rebecca. And thank you to everybody listening. Don't forget to give yourself a hug and smile. You'll feel better. Laugh too.
She's made me smile. This is Rebecca Greene, and I want to remind everyone to spend every day laughing, learning, and loving. And now I'm going to add hugging. Thank you for tuning in to the Whiny Palooza podcast. If you like what you heard, please be sure to subscribe so you never miss an episode. While you are there, leave a review. I love to hear your feedback. Thank you so much for listening. Until next time.
This show has been produced by Market Domination, LLC. To discover how you can have your own show completely done for you and turn it into a real published book and become the authority in your marketplace, go to www.marketdominationllc.com/podcast offer.
49 faces looked to him in triumph. Over the last 12 months, they had each taken turns and promoted his business for a week at a time, driving over $987,342 in revenue. What if you had a network of 50 centers of influence who promoted your business every week for a year? Grab your copy of the #1 Amazon best-selling book, The Ultimate Guide to Growing Your Business with a Podcast, at 33% off the Amazon price by going to ultimatepodcastbook.com. Again, that website for 33% off the Amazon price is ultimatepodcastbook.com.